Hey, love. You know that feeling where you wanted love, but you got another lesson instead? So you did all of the therapy and you did the journaling and you did the forgiveness work and the self-reflection and all of these things. And still it felt like, or it feels like, every time you open your heart, the universe keeps handing you more opportunities to grow instead of the love that you really want. And you didn't do anything wrong. This didn't happen because you did something wrong. It happens because you've just learned the lesson that love, that relationship was there to teach you. And now you're ready to move on, right? Even though it felt like you were ready before, you're ready to move on. And your love, it doesn't mean that your love isn't coming. Your love is coming. But it does mean that we need to make a mindset shift so that we can switch out of the energy of believing that our lessons have to come from loss instead of from love. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And we'll do that mindset shift together before this is over. We'll do that together if you stick around. So if you've left a relationship recently and you're feeling this intensely, this feeling of having learned another lesson when you really just wanted to be in love, and have this be your relationship with your person and have the search be over, right? If you've walked away from that relationship, then likely you're feeling very tired, not just from the breakup itself, but also from this pattern of growing and healing and learning and doing all of this work when you really just wanted someone to stay, and you feel like you've already done the work, so you feel very frustrated. You get the lesson. You're like, I'm fine. I understand the lesson. I just wish I could have learned it through being loved instead of through losing love all the time. And the exhaustion that you're feeling is on many levels. So it's not just emotional. It's not just mental. It's not just spiritual. It's all of those levels at once. So it can feel really deep, almost like you're also feeling like this dissonance, right? Between like, I know that I've learned these lessons. Why am I still experiencing them? You're trying to figure out why those two things are happening at the same time. And often it's because of a mindset shift that we're going to get into in a little bit, because a lot of women have this same thing, the same feeling. And there is really something energetic behind it. And it's actually a little bit easier to address than you think it might be. But first we need to actually look for it, see it's there, and then we can release it. So besides being tired, you may also be thinking things like, you might be feeling like you're in a weird place because there's a part of you that thinks maybe you should have stayed. There's a part of you that thinks, maybe leaving was a mistake or something like that. And I want you to understand that you left for a reason and you stayed for a reason. You stayed because you believed in the potential and because you are a loyal person and because you're someone who can love very deeply. And you left because your spirit finally got tired of almost love and was ready to move on, right? And when it became really clear that you were the only one who was going to do the emotional labor and try to bend or soften or make things work out, that's when you left. And you were right to left. You were right to leave. It was a courageous thing to leave. A lot of times we are afraid to make the decision that is going to make the most change for us. It's going to bring the biggest shift in our lives. We're afraid to make that decision. We're afraid to rock the boat. We're afraid to have to start over. We feel like we're going to have to start over. But you're not starting over. You're continuing on a journey and you're closer to love than you think. because now you are in this place of having a higher level of clarity, a deeper self-trust. You're much more grounded in who you are. You're much more discerning about what real love feels like. And you're moving from a place of self-knowledge instead of self-sacrifice, which is really important. So you're not at a place where it's like, oh, it's the end of your love story. It's nothing like that. You're actually just opening this door now to this new level. You can almost think of it like you have now graduated yourself out of learning through loss. And when you do that work of learning, of graduating yourself, giving yourself permission to now move on to this next level, to embody the love instead of being in always a process of getting closer or a process of this and that. You're actually just ready to step now into love, fully into love. And when you do that, you will find that there are men who want to love like you do, the same way that you want to love. There are men who love deeply and intentionally and with emotional safety and with joy. And there is a kind of love that is meant for you that won't require you to try to shrink or to try to constantly overgive. It's really just a love that feels like home. And it'll feel like home both to you and to your partner who you're calling in. You're calling in this person even as we speak. So that's why it's going to be even more important to shift this mindset. So that when he gets here, you're not only very happy and grateful that he's in your life, but you're also in embodying this version of you, this evolution of you who can sustain that love as well. So let's think of like what this next person is going to look like, what this next love is going to look like, rather, because it's not a fantasy. It's something I see over and over again with my clients. And the things that I see in common with the person that they call in, no matter what, I've worked with hundreds of women, and these are things that they always call in. These are traits and characteristics that the partners that they call in all have in common. So you'll meet someone whose values match yours. So that usually means honesty, kindness, integrity, the same commitment to personal growth, those kinds of things. And someone that you don't have to convince to show up in the ways that you need. He's also usually someone who makes you feel safe enough to soften into your feminine energy. And to just really feel like you can exhale, just like the movie. It does feel like that. And he is someone who is a true partner for you. So it's like whether it's everyday moments or big ones, he's there with you. And that is, career transitions, family milestones, travel and adventure. It's taking care of kids. It's all of the things that make a life a life. He's there for you and with you in all of those things. And you're building a real life together. So you're talking about your dreams, you're talking about your goals, and you're handling challenges as a team. He's also usually someone who has a great deal of emotional maturity. He is able to talk with you honestly and value your feelings and listen to you. And he doesn't shrink away from the repair work that happens after conflict. Conflict is natural and inevitable, and there are healthy ways to do it. But he's someone who who understands repair, who understands how to do the emotional repair so that you two can do that together after a conflict. And usually he's somebody who is very honest and steady and commitment minded. And you're worried that if that happened, that you wouldn't be able to trust that because that's what you thought you saw before. But this is a person who will make it really easy for you to trust that because of his consistency. So you won't have to try to make yourself trust him. It won't be scary. He'll just show you over and over again that this is who he is, and you'll get to the point where you know that it's safe to trust in that. And your life will feel richer, and it will feel more passionate, but also more peaceful at the same time. There's like a combination between passion and peace that's really, really interesting. And it's not that you need someone to complete you. You know, your life you'll feel a wholeness, but it won't be because you've been waiting for somebody to complete you. It will just be because this person amplifies the joy that's in your life already, right? So that's what's coming. And I know that there are some nights that probably feel very lonely, right? They feel very quiet, where you just wish that there was someone that you could share that laughter with after a long day, or like celebrate your wins together, or have coffee with in the morning, and you're just really wanting that. And wanting that doesn't mean that you're weak or anything like that. It means that your heart is ready, and that you are someone who values connection, and that's a really beautiful thing. So the mindset shift that helps us to actually move into that relationship and stop learning our lessons through loss and actually learn them in love, right, is a really powerful thing. And it happens when it addresses there's a belief that we have that comes up when we are people who are devoted to our personal growth and our evolution, and a thought process that happens, but that thought process gets kind of derailed and it turns into something else. So here's how that thought process develops. We think to ourselves, I'm committed to my healing. So in every heartache that I go through, every struggle, every time I'm facing adversity, all of those kinds of things, I am going to learn the lesson in that, right? I'm going to take that lesson forward with me into my future, and I'm going to make sure that I take something good out of this, right? So we say like I can learn my lessons from heartache. But then at a certain point that shifts into I learn my lessons through heartache. And then it shifts into I can only learn my lessons through heartache. And it's kind of an insidious shift that happens in energy. So we start to believe that the difficulties are the only way to learn our lessons. I actually even have a friend who had tattooed on his arm at some point, like, struggle is my teacher, or something like that. That was like challenge, it was something like struggle is my teacher, or something like that. And I was like, love, you've literally like burned into your skin that you can only learn through struggle. Is that how you want to always learn? No, it's not how we want to always learn. So, at some point we can say, okay, I've learned enough from pain, and I can now start learning through love. I can start learning through safety and joy and partnership and ease, right? So let's actually do that right now, and let's shift that. If you're ready to make that shift, let's just do it right now. Because why not, right? So we're not doing an energy healing right now. So at this point, I won't ask for permission to connect with your energy. That's something that we usually would do in a private session, or occasionally in my group, my Facebook group, the Secret Seduction Sorority. But we can still do some energetic work together right now. And we can shift this mindset. We can shift this belief right now in energy. So if you can put your hand to your heart right now and take a really nice deep breath in, and let it out. Okay. And then what I want you to say is, love can be my teacher without being my test. Another deep breath in, letting it all out. And say again, love can be my teacher without being my test. And say it again. Deep breath. Love can be my teacher without being my test. And what that does is that really rewires your heart and your mind to let love be a place where you can still learn, but you learn your lessons in joy. And then your lessons change, and they become things like my partner is proud that he can help me with my needs. Or my partner is proud that he can take care of me, take great care of me, And that is a lesson that you are open to learning now in love, right? You are still learning lessons in love, but they're not painful anymore. They're happy, joyful lessons. And some things you can only learn in love. So if you have this belief that says, it's really difficult for me to trust other people, it's difficult for me to allow someone to take care of me, then you can be open to learning that your partner can take care of you and love taking care of you. And that can be a beautiful lesson to learn in love through the experience of it and the consistency of having a partner who loves taking care of you. Over and over again, showing you that you are not too much, that you're easy to love, that you are very easy to love, that you are absolutely desired, that you are desired and cherished and chosen. That can be a lesson that you learn in love. So let's release that energy of having to learn the hard lessons through love and learning lessons through love with joy, and having that be the next chapter. So if you're in that kind of gentle space that feels like you're sort of between like heartbreak and hope, and you're not thinking of like actively going out and dating yet, but you do want to let go of kind of the heavy energy of heartache or of the past relationship, then my Heartache Cure audio program is a really good place to begin to gently do that without it feeling like work. And you can find that at overnightheartachecure.com. You can download it now and you can start listening to it tonight. So you are, what I want you to remember, the thing I want you to remember most of all, is that you don't need to make love happen. Because we don't make love happen, we make love welcome. And we do that through these little shifts in energy and in mindset. So I will see you next time.